हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। आज हम खेल रहे हैं noobs with CS:GO with noobs। यस थोड़ा DM देन लेट्स गो। और आज हाँ भाई हाँ, आज है टीचर्स डे, सो एवरीबॉडी हैप्पी टीचर्स डे। और आज CS:GO का मेजर्स का क्या बात है, फाइनल्स भी है, मतलब सेम क्वार्टर फाइनल सेमीफाइनल्स या ऐसा कुछ है, वो भी शुरू होने वाला है। फर्स्ट मैचेस इज बिटवीन Renegades versus ना Renegades versus Ents versus Renegades, ऐसा कुछ तो है
After I saw the first match, how they coped with it, how they
जो
played
बज रहा
that,
है बैकग्राउंड
how
में।
their mindset was, and communication,
है क्या?
actually gonna do a good run over here. It was surprised
40%
me
ऑफ
that
ऑन
they
यस ऑफ है यार, ऐसा
so
कुछ
low,
नहीं।
to be honest.
मैं वीडियो सेटिंग्स चेंज करता हूँ
And
पहले।
I'm actually
लेट मी
happy for
चेक माय
them
मीडिया
because
सेटिंग्स पे।
they have been
FPS लो आ
playing
रहा है,
so
कभी
hard.
कभार आता है।
And I
क्यों
do
आ रहा है पता
think that the
नहीं।
match,
रुको, मेरा
that game,
मैंने
will
फोटो निकाल के
it
रखा
will
है
be
अपने सेटिंग्स का।
a real tight game.
वीडियो
I
सेटिंग्स
think
का
they are so hyped now
किधर गया?
that they are here, and because of going like from 0-2 to the playoffs,
किधर गया?
that's like huge boost
मिल
kind of
जा
thing.
मिल जा मिल जा मिल जा,
So
अरे
each
बहुत है
team will
नीचे।
get the most pressure to lose the match. So we have to keep our heads calm and hope that they will fail. I think we have to face them in a way that they are a different team that they have been for the past months.
किधर
We
गया
have
किधर
to
गया सेटिंग्स?
keep in mind that they are a very strong team, and
ओके, मैं भूल गया कि मेरे
if
पहले
you
अपने
play against them
सेटिंग्स निकाल के रखने चाहिए थे।
with
आई
their
एम सॉरी फॉर
mindset
दैट,
how they have played so far,
बट यस
as
भाई
it was
मैं
going
निकाल के रखता हूँ
before,
अभी 2 मिनट में।
then most likely you will get the upper hand in that case. So we have to play against them that they are like a real threat, and they are doing so well.
ढूंढ
They're
रहा हूँ
so
ढूंढ रहा
easy
हूँ ढूंढ
like
रहा हूँ ढूंढ रहा हूँ।
playoffs.
स्टिल नॉट गेट इट।
We have to
ओके,
feel it that in a way
मीडियम
we
मीडियम
are
मीडियम डिसेबल
knockouts
8 MSSX से।
and go
मेरा
from
8 नहीं,
there.
आई थिंक सो मेरा
When I
4
watch
है।
the players,
यस मेरा
and
4
even
है।
though I see their emotions or and everything, I really don't like register it
यस मेरा
into my mind.
4 है।
I only watch what he's doing in the game,
बायलाना
and
डिसेबल
that's
से
it.
डिसेबल।
Nothing else like concerns me, because he can be a player who hypes, and he can be like, who doesn't like show emotions, whatever. That's outside of the game. For me, I just
लेट्स
want to
प्ले
see them play
CS:GO।
what he does.
हाँ, रैंक अप हो चुका है। जो मैचेस साले लेवल में जो एंस वर्सेस फर्स्ट मैचअप्स आर बिटवीन। चलो भाई, मैं भी अपना चैट ऑन कर लेता हूँ भाई, चैट। यप। हाँ, थोड़ी फार सर्दी है और थोड़े फार बुखार, बस और कुछ नहीं। आज मीडिया डे था फॉर यूबीसॉफ्ट। कौन है भाई, कौन है? रियली? ओ बेबी। अरे ये जो होता तो मार देता। ओह फक, नाइस प्ले नाइस प्ले। खेल रहे बंदे लोग खेल रहे। नाइस नाइस।
अबे मर।
क्या हो गया ब्रो? जा रहे हो क्या कर रहे हो? Oh baby. अरे थानोस
यार 3 हेडशॉट मारी।
कोई कॉम्पी खेलेगा
हैं?
भाई? रैंक सिल्वर 1 है भाई, कोई खेलेगा कॉम्पी? अच्छा, गरीब के साथ कोई कॉम्पी खेलना नहीं चाहता।
नहीं, नुबड़ों के साथ खेलना नहीं है बे, भागना।
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है ठीक है। हम दुबड़े है रियली, और खुद को भी नूब समझते हैं हम। और लेट्स सी हम किधर तक जा पाते हैं ऐसे नूबगिरी करके। अरे रे लुको, अरे सामा सामा थोड़े ले बच गया। ओ भाई भाई, कोई खेलेगा कॉम्पी? गरीब के साथ कोई कॉम्पी खेलेगा?
कॉम्पी खेलेगा?
हाँ कॉम्पी।
7 दिन बाद खेलेगा, बैन पड़ा।
अरे रे रे रे, कैसा बैन लगा? अरे रे रे रे, बहुत बुरा हुआ, बहुत बुरा हुआ स्मिथ के साथ। इसको भी 7 दिन का बैन बैठा भाई, बहुत बुरा हुआ। अरे पापा, बहुत बुरा हुआ, बहुत 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 बुरा हुआ मेरे साथ। ओ भाई, सामा
अच्छे हेडशॉट।
बूम हेडशॉट रे। उसका नाम नहीं लेने का, उसका नाम नहीं लेने का शेर को मैं।
बे उसका एक्चुअली डायलॉग नहीं है, काफी बनता है ना उसका डायलॉग।
मैं किसका नाम ले लेगा वो पता चलेगा उसको। अरे रे, कोई कॉम्पी खेलेगा सिल्वर लीड के साथ?
बे बोला किसको भी तू। अच्छे हेडशॉट।
अरे भाई 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 भाई,
एक्चुअली उसका था, उसका फ्रेंड लिस्ट में था ना।
किसके
नहीं
हैं?
बताओ। डायनामो का नहीं है वो डायलॉग।
किसका डायलॉग है वो फिर?
मारना सिटी वाले। मतलब P90 लेके क्या खेल रहे हैं?
कौन पेनल्टी खेल रहा है बे? अरे हम मार रहे हैं चढ़ चढ़ के।
ऐसा लगता है पीछे से मारा तो।
अरे फक।
डबल स्प्राइट।
अरे भाई। हो थोड़ी के लिए बच गया।
English, please.
सुका। अरे कैलाश मैन। सुकप्लिया। रसबी सुकप्लिया।
Sukable.
सुकप्लिया। अरे अरे अरे
Actually,
अरे।
I'm not Russian.
मालूम है रे बाबा तू कब रहे?
बैंड 5 गोली मारो कि बंदा ऑफ।
क्या हो रहा
बे
है?
चूतिया
अरे
बंदा
रे।
है।
अरे बैकस्टैप। ओ ब्रो। भाई तेरे को लगा नहीं तू रहेगा। सर इतना लो एफपीएस पे खेलने का मतलब भाई मेरे लिए बहुत कठिन है। ले लिया। हे ब्रो।
बे यार
क्या हो रहा है तेरे मन को? हाँ?
नहीं मैं मोबाइल पे था।
अच्छा हाँ, वही सोचो। क्या चल रहा है क्या चल रहा है रिक्स? मैं तेरे को डोमिनेट कर रहा था अब तू मेरे को डोमिनेट कर रहा था अब मैं तेरे को डोमिनेट कर रहा हूँ। टू मच फन। ओ स्मिथ रे। बुरा 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 बहुत बुरा। हाँ पापा। जी जी ब्रो। ओ पापा जी।
नाइस नाइस।
अरे यार सामा।
Seriously?
भाई बैकस्टैब हुआ मेरे साथ। धोखा हुआ है धोखा। अरे भाई 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 बच गया। को था वो ए शॉट पे? दोनों किल गए थे मेरे शिट। बहने दे मुझे, बहने दे मुझे, बहने दे, बहने दे। भाई नाक बह रहा है मेरा 2 दिन से।
इडियट पुंडे।
ओ भाई डबल किल, 1 हेडशॉट। इसने एक ही शॉट में 2 लोग को मारा है, मैंने मारा है, वो भी एयूजी के। कॉम्पी वालों ऐड करो मुझे, रियली सच में बोल रहा हूँ, ऐड करो। क्या है यार, fuck।
ओ भाई
भाई इसमें तेरे को फाइनल बुलेट लगी। भाई मजा आ गया। अरे स्पेन, ओ ब्रो, अप्पा डरा देता तुझसे।
नाइफ करो गांडू को।
कोई कॉम्पी खेलने को आ रहा है? कोई कॉम्पी खेलने को नहीं आ रहा, सो दैट मीन्स हम खेल सकते हैं भाई। ओके, रेनेगेड्स और स्टीम टीवी और ट्विच। स्ट्रीम नॉट इन, दोनों भी कुछ नहीं, हम लोग यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं। एंड्स ऑन 1, रेनेगेड्स ऑन। ठीक है, रेनेगेड्स को पोजीशन है, मिड स्मोक है, हम लोग कभी भी पुश कर सकते हैं भाई, पूरा टाइम है लोग के पास ब्रो, फुल टाइम है। देखे मैच देख, ओ ब्रो नाइस, कनेक्टर से किल दिया, गया गया। 2v3, एक कनेक्टर है, एक जंगल है। आलू इज ऑन जंगल और अलेक्स भी ऑन पी शॉट। ओके अलेक्स खाया मार आलू ने। ओह नाइस ट्राई, नाइस प्ले, नाइस प्ले।
Great spot for sure for Renegades. You can see that Alu playing from ticket with the AWP. It's such a good position to deny a push through connector, and that's of course one round down. But Asa
अब वो मैच देखेंगे अभी,
pushing those rotations,
मस्त है,
trying
मस्त मैच
desperately
में
to get
चल
the
रही है।
information and getting punished time and again. Well played from Asa. We're seeing pretty much everybody on
Guy.
Renegades looking awake right out of the gate in this one. It's always been fun watching how consistent Jacob has been on the team. He's been a standout performer time and again. And I can't wait to see what Liaz can offer as well. For those of you watching the new Legends stage, Liaz really showed us his level with some insane clutches.
Yeah, we saw some peak performance from Liaz recently, and that was fantastic to see. And you could see what it meant to him as well if you look at what he was tweeting after the matches on Vertigo versus some teams earlier on in this tournament. They did it the hard way, as Sponge said, the reverse sweep, Renegades. The anti-ecos are going well for them at the moment, and that's always, well, it's often been, for the longest time, one of the sticking points for the Renegade squad, either slowing them
They are
down,
on
stopping
mid
them,
stage,
this
star
anti-eco round.
ladder
But we've seen
main
a change
stage.
in them in this tournament. We've seen them be decisive, we've seen them be swift and brutal and merciless. And it's
इनको
led them
सिर्फ
to this
एक ही
point
राउंड
where
मिला है।
who knows how far they can go. They come into this as an underdog, but again, we've seen so many amazing plays from them. For those of you on GoTV, I think when Renegades moved to the CT side, both Jacob and
यहाँ पर
JKS
GoTV
Double
नहीं है
J's,
ब्रो, वरना GoTV से
they
खेलने
were
देख
so
लेते हैं हम
key
लोग।
on previous wins for Mirage. Their individual clutches were very numerous. But here we go, an aggressive play
Mid
from
push.
Ed towards that top mid position. No AWP this time, trying to fight for control, but Molotov and flashes are going to be a problem. They're going to get franked as well on
one
the high
down,
ground from Jacob.
2
And
down,
here we go, he's activated already.
3v3.
3 versus 3 with a minute 35 on the clock. Renegades still have control of the bomb.
And once again, we have possession as well. Look at Jacob go. Alu understands it. And even though
Damn,
it's a decent
nice.
angle for him, he'll lose the battle against Alu. lying in wait.
खेल रहे हो ग्रेटिस्फैक्शन
There's
ग्रेटिस्फैक्शन
no
कब चलेगा हाँ
utility on it, so
यार
that's why they pushed middle. They had a pretty low utility buy in this round, and they didn't have the AWP to really work with as well, so they wanted to get that aggression straight away.
ओके
But this is what
X7
happens. You play that late round, you got
ओके
nothing
दे वाले
left
पी
in
जा
terms
रहे
of utility. And Gratisfaction looking for the pick. He's
ओके
been spotted now. They have to go. They have to go into the side. Time is of the essence. X7 is there by himself. They know that he's likely alone in this position. They have to find the
Okay.
frag and get the bomb down quickly. That's good work from Liaz, but it's not over just yet.
Alu moving into the short position. Ariel's gone past the window. I think he's just raised Yulamaz to Liaz's position. But where is Gratisfaction?
Nice.
Liaz
Okay.
now 1 versus 2. He's got a lot to do.
It's 1v1
We've seen him at peak performance. There's
Nice.
Ariel has a better position. And there's a second round in the bag for ENCE. AWP rescued
ENCE
and all.
got a round
However, these rounds are really bloody for ENCE. They are losing all their players in these rounds that they win, and
रेडी
it's
करो
the
यार
same
5
situation.
प्लेयर रेडी करे
Renegades, they
बाकी
got
के
the
पास
bomb
क्या कर
down,
रहा है
and they've banked plenty of money.
नहीं
So
हुआ
even
मैच में
though,
गई
you know, Renegades are going to be conceding that
Shit.
round, they're in an amazing position to keep hammering ENCE's economy. If they take all these weapons away, they take this byway and win this round, ENCE are going to be in so much trouble as the momentum begins to really build for Renegades. This is the start that you wanted to see if you are a Renegades fan, for sure.
एक्सेप्ट कर लिया अरे रे रे रे
CT sided again. Renegades, JKS and Jacob when they move to CT side and Alu.
मैं अभी कुछ नहीं कर सकता हो गया मैच स्टार्ट हो गई मैच स्टार्ट हो गई वो लेट आया मेरे को लगा नहीं आएगा पर आ गया वो रुक जा उसने बोला तब तक मैच आ चुकी थी ब्रो ओके ये हमारी मैच है हम लोग टाइम पास कर रहे हैं गुची लेट्स गो गुची मस्त खेल रहे भाई गुची मस्त खेल रहे अच्छा बॉट है वो Oh, nice, bro. हमारे टीममेट कुछ खास नहीं दिख रहे भाई मारने वाले और क्या पावर जैसे कि इसमें दिखाई दे रहा था we don't have firepower that much देखो भाई we don't have that much firepower तो हम लोग खेल नहीं सकते मैं ठीक है अच्छा उसने रेडी से और मारा वही सोचो भाई उसने ट्राई हार्ड यस ब्रो ट्राई हार्ड से वो लोग भाई बहुत मजबूत ट्राई हार्ड से वो लोग हम भी ट्राई हार्ड करेंगे भाई इतना ट्राई हार्ड लाइफ में कभी नहीं देखा आई एम गोइंग along hello guys anyone
Somebody push LT. Somebody push LT. Leave push LT.
you can hear me guys
Yes.
okay no problem
Bombard the server.
Got big penis.
be shot one
Okay, it's a B.
okay rotate fast rotate okay we are coming don't
They're all B. They're all B.
okay no problem
Hey, marna purple. Just some. Mar. Purple mar.
Nice. पीछे कंट्रोल तेरे पीछे
GG nice try guys
easy
I'm going B okay
I'm scouting mid.
okay just give the position for us
Okay.
भाई सब लोग इंडियन हो
हाँ.
सबका
TVS clear है? नहीं
बी पे
पर्पल नहीं है
आई थिंक दे आर एट बी ओके
शॉर्ट पे स्मोक हुआ
टनल्स में आवाज आ रहा है एक लोअर टनल से वन लोअर टनल
I'm here with you, man.
वन लोअर टनल से वन अपर टनल से
ओके शॉर्ट तो क्लियर है
They look like
देखा गया
they are fucking slow, man.
ग्रीन कैन यू रोटेट मिड जा
Oh, I'm lagging.
कितनी कर होल्ड करना सिर्फ
होल्ड करो जस्ट होल्ड द पोजीशंस दे विल कम नाइस
Nice.
ओके वन टनल्स वन अपर टनल
ओके
मल्टीपल
वन प्लेट
वन
वन
प्लेटफॉर्म
कार पे एक छुपा है
नाइस
कार लास्ट प्लेट डिफॉल्ट
आर यू रेडी
Man, you are suicidal, man.
डोंट थ्रो मैन
Man, you like death. Death is not good, man. If you die, you die, man.
आई एम गोइंग बी ओके
I go alone.
ओके
चलो पुशल्टी यहाँ पे
आई गॉट हिट
वहाँ पे कि इसका एक शॉट मल्टीपल होल्ड कर रहे हैं हाईमिड पे सब लोग हाईमिड ये शॉट भी देखो हाँ ये शॉट देखो ब्लू फॉल बैक टू
कितने लोग किधर है बता फटाफट पोजीशन से हाई मिड है या वो
हाईमिड पे तो उसके
मिड पे कितने है
एक स्टेयर्स पे कैट स्टेयर्स
One of them.
One
of them.
मार दिए मैंने 28 है सिटी से देखो मिड क्या लॉन्ग
लास्ट लॉन्ग
ओ भाई देख
होल्ड द एंगल
वही खुद फ्लश नेक्स्ट ट्राई
क्या खेल रहा है ये फ्रस्टी ब्रो यार सीरियसली हाथ का राउंड
तो लग रहा है।
हाथ के राउंड कर लोगे तो गुस्सा तो आएगा ही ब्रो इट वाज आवर राउंड ब्रो व्हाट एंगल यू आर वाचिंग ब्रो
ये नुबड़ा है इसके अकाउंट दे
आई डोंट केयर
पुश करेगा
वॉच मिड ना मिड
टीवीएस
At least two alone.
एक टीवीएस पे यूटी क्लियर एवरीवेयर इज क्लियर टीवीएस
Oh, many alone, man. Many alone, man. Many alone. I can't see anything. Many alone, man. Bomb alone.
ब्लू एलटी देखो यार
मैं पुश कर चुका भाई, ए लॉन्ग जा रहा हूँ मैं।
एलोंग पे कोई नहीं है।
पिट में बॉम्बर है।
हाँ ठीक। ए पे आ गए
देखा?
सब लोग। वन साइड वन साइड।
Maybe you save a blue.
बहुत एरम बहुत एरम। ओए तीन तो। ओए देखो गुच्ची मार दिया सबको। गुच्ची खा के मार दिया।
अरे क्या कर रहे हो रे तुम
इको
लोग?
इको करें। इको करते इको।
इको नेक्स्ट राउंड बाय करते हैं
एमएन
बराबर।
पुश करते हैं। एमएन पुश करते हैं सब लोग एमएन।
हाँ ब्रो, अरे लास्ट का 2 राउंड अपन ने ना, सॉरी लास्ट राउंड जो था भाई अपने वो हाथ का गलाया। नो 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 नो, पर्पल इट वाज इको राउंड ब्रो, इट वाज इको राउंड, व्हाट डिड यू
यू
गाइस
गो
डू?
बी यू गो बी। पर्पल यू गो।
पर्पल यू गो बी, ओके, जस्ट होल्ड फॉर अस।
विल पुश एलोंग चार जने।
Ikora? Okay, okay. So I buy AK, okay?
क्या क्या
Camera, I buy negative. What do you mean negative?
मतलब हाँ बोल रहा है, हाँ।
I wanna get negative, man.
एवरीवन कैन अंडरस्टैंड मी? हेलो? एलोंग पुश
हाय
कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है?
फ्रेंड्स चाय पी लो। लोल
क्या बोल रहा है ब्लैक?
इट्स नॉट इनफ।
आई एम
Oh
गोइंग
no.
एलोंग।
Everybody push along. Except purple.
Purple and green going to be.
Hey, green.
Let it be, it's okay.
What? What?
Oh yeah, we got it now.
GG guys.
ओए एस कर अभी।
क्या है इसका?
इसके पास है आप। हाँ किया तो किक हो गया।
बॉम्ब दिया तेरे को?
मैं गन ले लूँगा।
ब्लैक क्या कर रहा है कवर?
और जिज्जी को फ्लैट जिज्जी को
डिफ्यूज।
Oh, nice Iko, man. Oh, good job, guys.
जिज्जी को भाई।
Nice, nice. You guys carry me, okay? I do nothing, you guys carry me, okay? Thank you.
नाइस ब्रो।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। भाई मुझे क्यों नहीं दिया MVP?
You guys carry, I'm nice to bed.
आप कौन चलाएगा? कोई नहीं।
जो मिड पे रहेगा वो। ब्लैक तू मिड पे ले, तू मिड खेल। ग्रीन तू मिड खेल।
मैं एलोंग खेल।
ए शॉट।
होल्ड कर मैं आऊँगा एरन पे।
Man, I think they're rushing mid, man. Be careful, man.
मिड पे स्मोक है।
Man, mid is smoke, I can't see anything. Maybe they go mid to be careful.
Yeah.
Careful, man. Maybe they crossed mid, I don't know.
नहीं मिड पे कोई नहीं।
Careful, Orange.
होल्ड करे वो लोग। मैं जो एलोंग जा रहा हूँ। शॉट पे मल्टी। लॉन्ग पे है
एक लो टनल है, 91 टैग है।
भाई मैं नूब हूँ यार माफ कर दो।
ए प्लांट है। सेव करो, दोनों सेव करो। We don't have economy. Save.
I'm dead! Fuck! Fuck you!
Alright, save. Nice. Save it. Get exit frags.
करने दे उसे। दो लोग ही है। टॉप फ्राई करे।
And you can clutch. This is easy clutch, man. This is easy clutch. No, Elo, nice. Clutch.
You can do it, man. City. Run.
Nice.
Take off.
Run.
I think you dead as fuck, man. You dead the other night.
Nice. Nice job.
Nice.
We win this game. Hey, why me?
Okay, who is picking
Black
mid?
I'll go B.
Black pick mid, okay?
By the way, I'm best.
I'll
Oh,
go B.
AWP me pro.
छोड़ दो ठीक है ओह भाई ये तो अच्छा
Nice, first is good. Nice. No first T, easy round.
तो से बोल कर रहा हूँ
Easy game, man.
बम का अच्छा ठीक हम आ रहे हैं मैं आ रहा हूँ माँ मैं आ रहा हूँ
Fuck your fire, man.
Watch mid guys, okay?
अच्छा गन दोगे मेरे
पर green boost ले green take boost. Yes, take boost like this.
give calls to the top
We stay like this, okay?
Yes.
okay yes
This is good.
पर्पल अंदर आ तू ऑफ सेव कर ले अंदर आ पर्पल कम इनसाइड पर्पल
मैं जा रहा हूँ उसे बचाने
हाँ जा भाई उसकी ऑफ रिकवर कर ले अगर गया तो वो
ठीक है
Orange,
और
come
इसके
back.
पास ऑफ नहीं है ओके
What the fuck?
why
Why? What did I do, man? I'm nice guy.
तूने बुलाया
why did you kill him
सेव कर रहा
Why, man? Why?
रिकवर कर
Fuck.
बन गया जी
Dead buggy, man. Don't do anything. Don't touch my dead buggy, man.
why did you kill him my friend why did you kill him
Now I have no money. Nice.
but that was extremely nice shot
Nice. It's okay.
I'm going B okay okay they spotted us they will go A or A shot
सिर्फ होल्ड करो हाँ कहीं भी
okay no problem
लोग होल्ड कर रहे हैं ठीक है नाइस शॉट थाईलैंड mid everybody mid I'm at a played cool guy nice what's sorry
A shot A shot
oh देखो जी
one A shot
Ay. Tuela.
अच्छा आप ले ले पीछे देखो
Tuela.
okay how many ops we have till now in total
What language is
नीचे
that? Is this Chinese?
दो आप है
I'm watching A shot okay?
What's that language, man? Is this Chinese?
ये सब देख कर
Okay, he's watching A shot guy घालतो कधी कधी. हो बसतो. I will watch a shot, okay? I will watch a shot. I have.
I'm going A long.
Okay, who will go? Okay, I am watching mid.
Affirmative. Laying down smoke.
Fuck you guys. Fuck this game. I'm out.
Incendiary out.
One pit, one.
How many at A long?
All. I guess.
Okay. No.
One pit.
One was at a B. One was at T base, okay?
Bomber pit, bomber. Right.
Bomb drop. Maybe bomb drop.
One more pit, one more. One mid maybe.
One more pit.
Yeah.
Man, you are dead, man. You are dead.
रुक हाँ.
Watch a shot, okay? I told you.
ओ भाई मार दिए.
Incendiary out.
Nice shot.
Finally.
I don't
ये
know
shot
last one.
पे, ये shot पे last, ये shot.
Yes.
You know. How do you know, man? You cheat.
पीछे तक कोई long doors. अच्छा मारा.
Nice, bro.
Drop there.
Okay, I will play long, okay?
Drop that off. Okay, purple.
Okay, anyone need
Purple.
drop? Anyone need drop?
Thailand,
Take
Thailand.
it. Okay, I will take
Drop नहीं.
it.
We're wasting time. Let's go.
कोई नहीं दिया. कोई मरेगा क्या?
Why do you have a dog?
Throwing smoke.
Feed your dog, man.
Flashbang.
City smoke.
Your dog die, man.
What?
Dog is nice, man.
A long smoke.
They are all in.
Oh, nice dog, man.
Deploying flashbang.
City,
They are
city,
around,
one
they are
city.
Laying down smoke.
First three.
Grenade out.
Walk. They are rotating.
Okay.
They're going back, man.
Grenade.
Yellow wait.
Nice try, man. Outside long. Mid deck.
A shot.
LT. Oh yeah.
Last B.
Negative.
Flat.
Oh.
ये आप क्यों नहीं करेगा?
Nice try, man. Nice try. Good try, guys. Nice.
Okay, my bad. Extremely my bad. I have to use my op.
I'm going along. I'm pushing along. I am
No.
no use.
No. Don't push.
Okay, guys.
मेरा कोई नहीं.
This is this round, okay? Easy.
Purple. Yellow. Orange.
it's okay.
Come here. Orange इधर है. मुझे UMP दे.
Throwing flashbang. Deploying flashbang.
ठीक है long पे.
एक बैग है.
Clear? Be clear.
Cover सही.
Ooh, this is one AFK guy with bomb. Nice. I have bomb now.
Nice, bro. Nice. They are at A shot, okay?
What? Minus 40, okay?
Okay, no problem.
One is down.
Where is last?
One very low, man.
I'm also very low, man. Car.
Nice, bro.
Nice shot.
Easy game. I told you I ace, man. Easy.
Okay, anyone need drop? Anyone need op? Black, take it up.
I don't like black, man.
No, Black need the AWP. He plays very well with the AWP.
Yeah, the thing is black is problem, man.
Yellow भी अच्छा ही
Black people is problem, man.
हमें नुबड़े
Man, black people is problem, man, you know?
Yellow कुछ हो गया
Okay.
फिट पे
2 feet.
अच्छा वाला नहीं फिट
Going long, man, why?
They're 8 feet, okay?
पूरा नहीं कौन से
Oh, look at that button. He's dead, man.
इसे जल्दी जा पकड़ हुआ
Hey, now!
ओए
Last two don't know.
one more pit
Wait.
पे nice one
Last pit.
jump sir
Nah, minus 90, 70.
Lol, bro. I really. I got fruities up again. I got fruities up again. Anyone need up?
drop
Okay, gonna drop.
Oh, I got him. Oh my god, shit is getting real, man.
Okay, I'm going B, okay?
I'm getting S, by the way. That's my middle name is getting S, man.
I think they're pushing
Watch
B
me.
now
Okay, one B.
hold कोई नहीं कर everybody's B here
Well, not everyone, man.
B.
What the fuck? Let me
भाई ब्लैक तू ही मारेगा क्या सबको
I killed one in smoke. I'm going A long, okay?
Me too, man.
Okay, watch mid green, watch mid green.
No, fuck you.
Incendiary. Throwing fire.
Next.
Fire in the hole. Grenade out. Throwing flashbang.
Tunnel.
ये तो फिर भी
एक A shot, एक tunnel है. Tunnels and shot,
एक
okay?
शॉट है
A shot, one A shot.
एक शॉट
They are rushing.
दो मिनट मिट्टी भी
Flashbang.
मैं नुबड़ा हूँ मैं मिड
Last mid.
last one mid
Laying down smoke.
Black, are you really black, man?
No, nice play. Oh, bro, nice ace.
Man, black, are you really black or is it
ओ
just
भाई
me?
यस कर दिए
Nice ace.
Are you really black?
लास्ट
No, it's
Do you
not
really
nice.
keep every day, man?
Okay, buy full.
लास्ट बाय
No,
मी
buy me
गेगन ब्लैक बाय मी गेगन
Are you
ब्लैक
really black?
बाय मी गेगन
You know KFC, yeah?
not this one
Help!
A long rush, I think.
It's a long, man.
Smoke.
Multiple A long.
Flashbang. Incendiary. Fire in the hole.
Do we need to rotate? Okay.
yeah
Okay.
Throwing flashbang.
Man, smoke is making my PC lag. I'm lagging so much.
Watch a shot purple, okay?
Throwing flashbang.
ये रोटेट कर गया क्या? रोटेट कर गया भाई।
Rotate, they are rotating.
एक कार नहीं नहीं नहीं
Laying down smoke.
Okay, one high mid.
Hunting.
One high mid, two at B side, okay?
इतना टकता हूँ भाई। पीछे देखो यार।
My last hour, don't save. Last side है. Nice try. Nice.
मार देता मैं उसको अगर मैं प्रो होता। पहले बोलना चाहिए था ना ग्रीन।
Guys, can you take time out? My mouse got disconnected.
Yes,
Thank you, bro.
I go pee.
पहली फुर्सत में निकल. I am back, bro. Hey, bro, I'm streaming, bro. Don't type like that. I will get banned. Okay?
What?
I'm
What did
streaming.
you say?
Yes,
What the fuck?
Yes, I'm streaming right now. Please, don't. Seriously, I'm watching your chat and just like laughing at anything.
What the fuck?
Yes, I'm streaming right now on channel Beusa Gaming, BEUSA Gaming.
Oh.
Yes, please, आराम से.
Let us go.
Okay, where to go, guys?
Well, we stay here.
Yeah, you stay here.
Let's all go on black, man. Jump on his head. He's AFK. Jump on his head, man. Come here. Help me. He's AFK. Jump on him. Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Nice.
We will push, okay, at B. Don't
ए
make
वाले
noise.
बी आएंगे, बी वाले ए जाएंगे। हम लोग मिड पे आएंगे, हम लोग बी जाएंगे।
Go, Raj.
Rush. Very good.
आजा.
I don't wanna die.
Let's lay down. Hey, let me kill 2 kills, okay? Let me get 2 kills. Let me get it.
Snail boy यार।
Why black?
Snail.
Why? It was my ace.
Nice.
मेरा ace miss करवा यार तुझसे.
He's gonna get banned. He's gonna get banned. Fuck you.
Why black? अरे यार. I was streaming, bro.
If black should jump on him, he's gonna get banned, man. If black should just jump,
No. It's okay. It's fine.
Let's go, my brother.
he killed 2 people already, man. That's because he's black.
Yes.
Black killed people.
I'm throwing smoke. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Nice.
वीडियो लोग सब रोटेट करो।
क्या रोटेट करो भाई? वो लोग ए साइड क्लियर है. नाइस.
कैसे पीछे
Knife. अरे knife रे Gucci.
Nice. He's going city. He's city.
He's in city.
I go for knife.
City. सबको मार देगा रे.
You can do it, man.
Who will take knife? Are you clipping it?
You can do it.
चलो एक बार करने हम भी.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Good job.
Okay, where to go now? We have a B spawn.
I'll flash for you. Black.
Okay. No, I will flash.
I'll black for you. Black, I'll make your skin white for you.
You guys know mercy, okay?
I will flash it. I will flash for you.
No problem with that.
Lol. एक मिनट पे स्काउट. उस स्काउट वाले को नाइफ करो.
Black cheating. Black cheater.
I'm not cheating, dude. He was visible.
Man, you cheating. Report black, man. He's black. Report him for being black.
One shot.
No, I don't report you for that, man. I'll report you because you're black.
No. Don't report him, bro. He's pro.
What the fuck?
Where is the bomb plant? Bomb plant किधर है? Where is the bomb plant? A short or A long?
A long.
Okay. I mean, seriously? Really?
मुझे क्या पता.
मतलब क्या हुई? Really? कुछ भी? भाई जाके सीधा डिफ्यूज पे चिपक गया. वो जाके सीधा डिफ्यूज पे चिपक गया. मतलब बाजू कुछ देखा नहीं, कुछ नहीं.
You not black, man. Your name is black, man. Stop lying.
Hey bro.
You always lie, man.
Nice.
No racism here. Okay?
Nice. पीछे देखो. ये शॉट से आ रहा है. पीछे देखो. पीछे तो देखो.
Come guys, A side clear, bro. A side clear.
एक गोची मारा. लास्ट वन है लॉन्ग. कते लो है. आग में चढ़ के आया. अग्नि परीक्षा की है उसने. वो नहीं मरेगा अभी.
गायतोंडे क्या वो?
हाँ.
Okay. Purple, watch A shot.
अपन को गुरुजी का प्रेम.
हाँ भाई, और कुछ?
ये सारी समस्या मुझे दे दो गणेश.
ले तेरी सारी समस्या मैंने उसको दे दी.
All I heard was DB, man. That's not nice. Fuck you.
Okay, मैं मिड पिक करता हूँ. बाकी सब देखो तुम लोग क्या करने का. और नहीं गया. लास्ट राउंड. नेक्स्ट राउंड. इसके बाद वाला ऑन नहीं गया.
पैसा नहीं है रे. Cara era. Party is on fire.
3-8A, okay? 3B, 2A.
बम गया. वो देखो कहाँ. बम कहाँ चला गया है बम. कहीं नहीं.
When I die, you get my AWP, okay?
मार डाला. कार पे के सीधे
अरे यार वन सिटी nice one. It was your ace if you killed that two people.
ड्रॉप दे दे येलो
I must say no. Hold here. No, my friend.
I have dropped the AK.
Let's go.
Blue flashing for you.
Throwing a flashback.
Yeah, rushing.
Okay. Stop flashing. Oh, nice. Oh. Nice.
नहीं करना
Flashback. Smoke.
One city. Next round, yes, guys. Last city. Glock hitting rush B. Okay, guys. Okay. No. Glock hitting is the best. Glock hitting is the best. A shot. Nice. Glock hitting the rush. Glock hitting the rush. Okay. Okay, negative.
Negative.
स्प्रे मिड
Okay. I will spray it mid.
We will find out from our land.
Man, you want me, man. Let's go me.
तेरे को चाहिए अभी
Man, there is no one B, man. Go B.
We are going.
Grenade. Smoke.
Bomb drop.
Throwing a flashback.
Stop with flash, man.
Flashback.
कोई नहीं मरा आ गया पीछे से पीछे देखो पीछे
I am planting the bomb.
पीछे देखो ग्रीन पीछे तो देखो
I'm throwing a flashback.
Nice. अरे रे
अरे हैप्पी बर्थडे कर दो यार एक
Happy
हैप्पी
birthday.
बर्थडे टू यू
Happy Teachers Day, guys. Happy Teachers Day. Happy Teachers Day, guys. Happy Teachers Day. Happy Teachers Day once again, guys. Really कुछ नहीं मिला. भाई सीरियसली भाई ये लोग रैंक देख के मेरे को हंसने को आ रहा है. सिल्वर एलीट खेल रहे लोग ट्राई मस्त
Curious to see if he's still in that role, or if they've made an addition. They put somebody like Jacob, maybe like Azza, someone who might have a few more aggressive moments.
I think what I don't want to see out of Ents right now is a lot of outside upper
अब मैं करूँगा स्ट्रीम CS:GO का
that's very quick. JKS is smoke ramp and just leave it for the first 20 seconds of a round. And if that's opening is there, I want to see Ents take that at some point in this game.
Get under their skin early.
रिक्वेस्टिंग चल रहा है. लेट्स सी क्या हो रहा है. कैन वी गेट इट कनेक्शन और नॉट. तब तक तुम लोग सुन लो भाई क्या हो रहा है.
ENCE, they've broken the world's best team at the time unbeaten spree on Nuke. We talking 3 already here, Chad, even for a Renegades believer?
No, look.
Renegades believer?
No, look, obviously I'm going to say Renegades going to 2-0. This is going to be nice and swift. We might see another 16-5 type scoreline. It's going to be a quick one. I think there'll be
Renegades is a hell of a drop. Wow, give me some of that.
You see the Finns in there doing a lot of drinking. They're going to have a lot more time after this to do some more.
Oh, he really wants to be the villain.
I know, he's trying to.
Hey, man.
That Santos booth, it's heating up. It's like a sauna. The Finns are getting comfortable. This is it.
They'll be naked drinking vodka before you know it. Smacking each other with leaves and that.
The Finns are getting
comfortable. You've never been in a sauna?
Yeah, they want the sauna.
They love saunas.
They want saunas, yeah.
Yeah, but we're born in 40 degrees, so I'm not sure the Finns know what that's like.
I was born in it.
We've had a few Batman references today.
We have, and the Dark Knight's on the desk, of course. Prediction time, gents, because it is about to jump. In. One already made clear. Chad Birchall, a 2-0 from the Renegades. Delusional, perhaps. Duncan Thor and Shields. Any convincing happened after Mirage?
Unfortunately, I do not see them breaking the back of ENCE with the nuke pick. I think this is a really comfortable pick for the ENCE to go into. This gets them back in the series. You can have a lot of play on this one. So
मैच स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ मैच स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है जब पिस्तौल राउंड शुरू होगा तब हम लोग को मिलेगा अभी तो नहीं मिलेगा फिलहाल के लिए
matters all that much. It's all about that much. It's all about positioning and communication.
Which, of course, we heard from Twister, the coach of ENCE, coming into this, praising and admiring, perhaps even being surprised by the level of communication showed in their first game here at the Major in Berlin. Last couple of moments, of course, acknowledging the coaches, both Kassad and Twister, standing behind them. They'll have the opportunity to during the timeouts, and it does seem like it's time for the desk to time out and head over to James and Dan. Map 2, Game 1, ENCE take on the Renegades. Renegades.
Now, ENCE have a lot to show us. They didn't really show us anything in that first map. Thank you, Alex, and the rest of the desk. The Renegades.
The match शुरू हो चुका है. We will start requesting CS:GO. KOTV. Can navigate to watch it. Chatting चल रही है वहाँ पर भी.
Even on the CT side, when they started in the first half.
Okay, पहला कोई तो मार खाया 2 लोग मरे 3 सीधा. ENCE is just like killing anyone. JKS, they are rotating.
Looking for a push through the lobby. Doesn't happen just yet. JKS by control the face.
Oh, nice. 2 kill.
And Azza will take a player out as well. So now it's a one-man advantage, but looking to push. The door is being they're not allowed in.
What
the bouncer says no, but they'll force their way. They'll get the final kills. The pistol goes to ENCE.
I'm trying to request CS:GO, but how can I connection? Why is not getting? Okay, मैं restart करके देखता हूँ कुछ है क्या? If I get some information, then I will. पक्का, don't शक्का. And आज मैं थोड़ा जल्दी बंद कर रहा हूँ, because मुझे अपना इसके लिए अपने चैनल के लिए लोगो बनाना है. Maybe मैं 8:30 बजे बंद कर दूँ stream. Maybe. Okay. क्योंकि मुझे CS:GO मुझे स्ट्रीम के लिए अपना नया लुक चाहिए ब्रो. ये तो पुराना हो गया भाई. सिर्फ उसके अंदर सिर्फ लिखा हुआ है व्यूज गेमिंग, नथिंग एल्स. सो इसके लिए सोच रहा हूँ कुछ नया लोगो बना लूँ. आई थिंक मैं स्ट्रीम जल्दी बंद कर दूँ. ये मैच होने के बाद मे बी अभी एक पिस्टल राउंड हो चुका है, सो अभी शुरू हो जाए मेरे लिए. भगवान प्लीज हो जाए शुरू. हाँ हो गया, जल्दी हो गया. नाइस. I will stream CS:GO. ENCE versus Renegades. इसके लिए गो टीवी देखना चाहिए कभी भी. एंड आई थिंक सो फाइनल्स 5, 6, 7, 8 को आई थिंक सो संडे को. यस, इट्स ऑन संडे. 8 को आई थिंक थोड़ा लेट होगा. फर्स्ट मैच विल बी द नॉर्मल कंपटीशन, उसके बाद होगा फाइनल मैच. मैं भी नहीं स्ट्रीम करूँगा, मे बी स्ट्रीम नहीं करूँगा फाइनल आई थिंक सो संडे को.
Squeaky now, James.
Yeah, they don't have anyone outside, it seems.
30 seconds.
Yeah, they've got some. They've thrown one grenade basically outside. A smoke grenade is up towards the T-red position, but there's going to be issues here to deal with on the ramp. So far, so good. We've got late rotations going down the ramp position, but what can Renegades do on the B bomb site? They've got control of the vent. They're making their way down. 15 seconds. The bomb plotter better have the best cover in the world. They better have life insurance, because otherwise this is going to go the way of Renegades. They're just now starting to plant the bomb, and this is a really nervous situation for ENCE, but they managed to survive. Some tags through the wall, I I think, from Gratisfaction, but importantly, the bomb has been planted, and now they have position. Do Renegades try to push, or do they go for a reset in the third round?
Yeah, so Az is already falling back towards CT spawn. So yeah, it looks like they are going to just all relax and fall back. And as you say, keep what they have into that next round, make it a second very scary round. Asa has a couple of flashbangs still, too, to bring into that next round. So that's going to be fun to see how Renegades might use them. And I mean, this could have gone really badly for Rens. Obviously, there was like 7 seconds when the bomb was being planted. And JKS, you know, there is definitely a world where he gets a kill or 2 kills there. And Renegades just pounce on Ents, and then Ents just run out of time trying to plant the bomb because it's so heavily contested. So, yeah, that's a scary one. And now they've got to do it all over again.
I like the decision-making from Renegades. Even in losing that round, it's clean and it's decisive. And I feel like that's one of the differences we've seen from them in this tournament, is just decisiveness.
Yeah.
From when they started to turn things around. And that has gone in their favor. Now let's see how Ents deal with a basic reset of the situation. Maybe they run into the Mag 7 of Liaz. I don't know if that was revealed in the previous round. I don't think it was. He was up on the hut roof of A on the round prior. This time there's more grenades, more presence from Ents towards the outside, of potential presence. They've got a Molotov towards the stairs. And there are more question marks to be had for Renegades. A shot through the smoke, and this time the ramp is clear.
There's a bit of damage. Softening X7 up for the scouts, perhaps. Oh, hello. Goodbye. That's not a good side for Renegades. Very fast positioning has been picked up by Ents here, doing way better than the previous round and getting the real estate that they need to secure the bomb plant. And once you've done that, you've pretty much dealt with the force buy, as there's no kits to be seen. So Renegades, what is the option here? They will be, of course, able to buy in the following round. So they're going for some damage. Nice shot from X7, down to 2 HP, but he's looking good. And Renegades, they need to get some damage. They really need to keep the economy honest of Ents. And there is 1 kill at the very least. Can they find anything else? A gun could be collected. There's the UMP. Looks like the Kevlars will be saved here. And the grenades. Gratisfaction obviously had no Kevlar, so not too much loss for Gratisfaction.
We'll see if they choose to hold on to the Mag 7. There is some utility for it on the A-bomb site, but it's maybe not favored for people who aren't JW. 3-0 start for Ents. So far, so good. Still need to show us something to believe in after the start we saw on Mirage. Strong from Renegades, and it was very early here on Nuke. The AWP is out for Gratisfaction. He will be naked. The rest of the team will have their Kevlar. So there'll be a UMP for Liaz, but the Mag 7 will be left in spawn. And out come Renegades with a mixed bag, AKs and SMGs. Sergey with the MP5. Again, worse than the MP7, apart from the lack of traces. Gratisfaction, he likes to get into this position the fast way. And that's a pretty reliable play he makes, but he's got Jacob for support in a very forward position. And this is going to take a lot of information for Renegades, and Ents might not be prepared for this.
Yeah, I like the presence of the AWP there. It kind of allows Jacob to have this position because they can't peek him from the top of that silo because they're too worried about getting AWP'd. So that's what allows Jacob to be in that spot. So that's a nice setup, and a lot of time is being killed here. You can see Ali trying to make his way forward. Oh, he's just been spotted. Won't go down, but there goes the forward incendiary. That's going to mess up the timings here for Ents. So they might be forced to play an extremely slow round. And Gratisfaction, meanwhile, we can see he's rotated with that AWP of his in towards the ramp position. And it looks like Ents might want to get some ground towards this spot. So they're going to be having to contend with Grat, and he's going to hit the first one. How many more? Oh, goes for the hard shot there. Can't land it, but there goes support, and this is a good look here for Renegades. Another frag from JKS, and Gratisfaction is ready in a 1 versus 1 with the AWP, and it doesn't look like there's much for Ents really to do. X7 will try to find a way to get a kill, but time is also against him.
Grat's done his job, held position, held the ramp with no Kevlar, no less, and there's only 1 frag in that round for Ents. Still, it's not too late for a strong start to the first half for Renegades, despite having lost a pistol. That rotation from Gratisfaction's fantastic. Starts off with a very fast attempt at a kill by that secret position and makes his way towards ramp once Jacob's in a secured position. Really nice stuff from Renegades. Still, seeing a lot of promise from them potentially on this CT side of Nuke, but the buy is out for ENCE, and that wasn't the strongest buy from them. Again, they had 2 SMGs in that round. Now they have 4 AKs in the Galil for X7 and a lot of utility. If they win this round, maybe there's an opportunity to steal an AWP. The squeaky door's been blown off. No smoke towards main though. See Jacob's in main at the moment, and Liaz is on the high ground of A.
Here we go, fast play. Jacob gets himself the spray, and the double comes through, and a third goes through the smoke. That is outrageous, and that feels like a glimpse from Mirage, James. Just that confidence and making, like, converting like that. And they've got to find their individual performances because, sure, as they mentioned on the desk, yeah, you can just win with position on a map like this, but on the T side, you do have to be able to get those entry frags. And right now, Renegades are connecting.
Jacob with the brazen play through the smoke and still gets the frag as well. That is beautiful confidence from the man. Been so strong. A great addition to the Renegades team. ENCE now down to the pistols. Their success was short-lived, and it was maybe non-existent in that first game. A third smoke, so there's no gap in the middle, it seems, or just in case of a Molotov. And they make their way down towards Secret. Azza might get caught here. Indeed he will. Sergey to trade with the P250. CZ collected. Now a bomb plot. JKS has got something to say about that, or does he? Seems that there might be a stolen round here for ENCE.
Yeah, it's looking really likely there. Both JKS and, well, Azza was a little bit slow. He needed an extra half a second to get into position to play the headshot angles, but gets punished. And here comes the retake attempt from Renegades. It's going to be tough. Oh, the nade does some good damage, but the timing of the CZ from Alexi P will absolutely cripple this retake attempt. It's just Jacob left. It's all he can do to try to maybe get this AWP and just run away with it. That might be the play. There it is. Gets the pickup. Has the fire to cover his tracks and allow him to get some space so he can get to safety. But that was a little bit sloppy, James, from Renegades, and ENCE punished them hard.
Well, I think Renegades played it well to begin with. They entered up for a crossfire, basically, for a bait and switch setup, but Renegades had a double HEs to stop that, took out the first player, but again, yeah, no one was watching for that second player, for that trade fragger, who got 2 kills for free, unanswered kills, shut down the round, and maybe it won't be so simple for Renegades. They've got money, however, and that's an important save of the AWP, so they will rebuy, and they may end up with a better buy than ENCE, unless ENCE can spread the money well. That is a surprising win, and again, Renegades won't want to lose too many rounds like that, but better to lose one early than lose one late.
And then they need to start building that security in rounds on this CT side. It was very troubling for them against Na'Vi. We saw perhaps one of the worst performances we've seen out of Renegades for quite some time, but obviously they still managed to clinch that series with Vertigo.
ENCE have 95% of the pick'em selections for this series. 95%.
Damn.
I don't think, for me, I don't think any of the matches are more than a 60-40. I think it's like a really dangerous bracket in that respect. So there could be a colossal upset.
Yeah.
In this series, and it started off well for Renegades. ENCE back on the buy once again. Grant trying to get the secret, but he's completely blind. There's no idea where he is, but somehow he still makes it down there. Jacob in a forward position. That flashbang comes in just in time. Ariel gets the worst of it, and it's a 4 versus 5.
Oh, there's the punish though. Ali pushes forwards. He's going to keep this going with the pace. Liaz is occupied, and Ali's going to come and finish him off. Azza has to do it all here. Stuck in the corner of the bomb site, and he can't do enough. 2 versus 2 now for Renegades. They've lost the upper bomb site. X7 and Alexi B don't have much in the way of utility left. Just 1 Molotov on Alexi B, and they have to go for the plant, and Renegades are already in position. They might have a good shout for this one.
Alexi P's got a Molotov. Does it go to the heaven position? Does he feel like he's safe to throw it? That would be an MVP play at the moment. He might not realize he's got it if he just walks and picks it up. Second CT makes his way into that position. X7 holding the angle. Alexi B looking for the squeaky doors to be blown up for the time being. Gratisfaction flying to his doom. Stereo frag for ENCE, and they're on the board again. 5-2.
Only Simple can do that, Gratisfaction. You've got to be careful with that AWP, the flying AWP. And indeed, ENCE. It's such a big round to win. Renegades, of course, do still have some bank to work with, but they've got to pick and choose carefully. Gratisfaction would be able to purchase an AWP, but we've got JChem, JKS, and Liaz all under $4,000. So it's not really an ideal situation for them to do a fully committed buy. But, you know, in doing so, in doing that eco round, you're going to be conceding another round most likely to ENCE. And you know what? They're going to go for it. Because they can get the AWP on Gratisfaction, we're going to actually see a full buy from Renegades here. A lot is going to be left to be decided in terms of the buy for JKS, Liaz, and Jakim. I'd imagine we're going to see some SMGs and lack of utility. Okay, looks like we get an M4 onto Jakim. So there'll be firepower in this round. But the issue, James, is that the Renegades can't really play a long drawn-out round. They can't really play retakes. They have to try to take the initiative early in this round.
It's interesting if you look at the like Gratisfaction's got 1 kill at the moment, but let's not forget how important he was with that 1 kill towards the ramp, holding up ends for one of the rounds where Renegades were successful. Aerial taken down early. Another quick 5 versus 4 for Renegades. Much needed with their lack of utility, the shortcomings they have in this round. The UMP, the MP9. Gratisfaction not shy to jump peek for information. It's zone. Oh, sit down, sir. Never mind everything I was about to say. But still, they retain the man advantage. Jakim is there to trade, and more importantly, to hold position. ENCE can't be in secret, and that's huge info for Renegades with only 3 ENCE players remaining.
That was a disgusting shot from Alu. But indeed, we'll have to see if it's going to amount to anything that ENCE can really work with as the time is running lower and lower. And they finally start to make their move towards the outside, where now Jakim is there with the AWP. They had a bait set up between Jakim and Gratisfaction. Jakim will take over the AWPing duties now he's collected the fallen AWP. And he's going to see X7 soon. Oh, that might have been the chance for X7 there. You can see that a rotation comes in immediately. Jakim doesn't risk another peek. Gets the info that X7 is moving outside by himself, and that's going to tell them quite a lot here. They can definitely deduce that plays incoming, and here it goes. Trying to find Liaz, and actually he will go down. Azza from the corner gets himself a double. That leaves Renegades in a favorable situation. A 2 versus 1, but they will have to retake with the bomb down.
Smoke to create some space. He might hear one of the CTs in the lobby position. He's also running there on the X-ray. Jakim comes up, is it too early? Spigot pulling out the CZ. How on earth has he got that kill? Through the smoke, JKS will trade. There were so many chances there for X7. He must have heard the running in the lobby position. 1v1 versus an up the ladder. Almost, but not quite. Renegades managed to hold on, but look at their money. Their money absolutely sucks. Liaz has got nothing, literally nothing in the bank, so next buy is going to be a difficult one for Renegades, and ENCE might have a chance to reset.
Yeah, it's going to be really telling around this next one, and I've got to say, speaking of things that are telling, X7, you know, that kind of first whiff there, he looks really uncomfortable, and
it's got to be nerves, man.
Yeah, it does look a lot like that, yeah, which it was not something I would expect to that degree. So we'll see if they can kind of calm the camp there, the ENCE camp, as we do get a respite in this freeze time, a moment to breathe. But here we go, once again back into it. Round 9 begins, and as James mentioned, Renegades spending absolutely everything, but ENCE are in the same boat. They've got no money left as well. So this is a huge round, and here we go. We get the drop down the vent straight away, coming in from ENCE. Fast positioning, and Ali picks off Jakim. Renegades are in troubled waters.
Do they realize that Alexi B is in or near around the B bomb site? That's been a consistent issue for Renegades so far. That will certainly help though. 4v4. They continue to look outside. Now, in some older games of Nuke, we can see JKS, he realizes, you can see where he's aiming. I was going to say, do ENCE open a door downstairs while there's some spray upstairs? Do they smash a window downstairs while they're making noise somehow to allow XCB to advance his position? But that's not happening, and he's looking for someone to rotate and try and defend, but maybe they realize they've got some power with those sound cues, so they'll just hold towards the ramp. That gap could be painful. Not crossing it just yet. Running over now. They've got a flashbang to help them. Doesn't quite go far enough. And they know that the secret area has been compromised. But what can Alexi do from his position? He's waiting for the CT rotation. He hasn't seen Azza, who's made his way onto the elevated position. Alexi B focusing on the ramp area. JKS is there as well. Azza might get two. King of the multi-frag, but on this occasion, JKS has been waiting. 30 seconds on the clock, and now it's 2 versus 2. Sergey and his teammate need to get that bomb down. Sergey might just see Gratisfaction, who goes for the alternative angle. That won't work out. Now Liaz, he doesn't have to wait for an MP9. So far, so good though. Looking for the second one, but he can't quite get there. Sergey, the last man standing, gets the round for ENCE.
Oh, what a critical round to pick up for ENCE. Absolutely smashing the economy of Renegades. They are in so much trouble now. Oh, that was so huge. really clutch stuff running in down onto that lower bomb side. Things looks pretty grim from time to time, but they managed to make it work. And that is what is important. And I feel like, you know, as we see these rounds build, as we see ENCE begin to win these fights, we're going to see them be much more confident. I am still seeing from Renegades, though, they're bringing that individual performance we saw from the first map, but they're not really finding enough spots to really convert to those round wins. We get a fast run here from ENCE to play against the eco of Renegades. Although Liaz has picked up a headshot with a P250. That's not ideal, and now Ariel might have to try to protect the weapon.
The rest of ENCE are moving towards that ramp position, and it seems Ariel will fall back further to try and avoid being swarmed, spotting some of Azza. So keeping the CTs honest, but if he is to fall there, then that would be a really dangerous situation for ENCE. So he's got to be careful. If there's a push through lobby, for example, then things could get super weird, but he's still trying to protect the weapon for now, and you can see the hunger on the CTs, but now they're starting to swarm and get a little closer. Ariel's doing an okay job for now, but soon he'll run low. 1 bullet, you can hear it. He's going to pull a pistol out. There's one elevated, and he will fall. So it's going to be 2 AK-47s in a 3 versus 3. That bomb hasn't been down for too long. They could consider something here, Renegades.
Yeah, absolutely, and these AKs are just huge going forwards, especially again seeing some of the performances we have on Renegades, but you know, effectively that's going to save Renegades, what, $6,000 or so moving forwards. And that is very much needed as their economy has been quite stretched. But there goes JKS, that's one of the guns gone. Incredible Faction needs to stay alive with his. Of course, he really wants to do some damage to the economy events, but you've got to keep that AK at this point. Spray comes through, but it's unlikely to find the kill, and indeed it will not. So just 1 AK collected in the end by Renegades. So back into the buy they'll go, but they're looking down at the scoreline right now, and their deficit is not too good. 3 against the 7 of ENCE.
At this point, if you're Renegades, I think you need to start asking how many rounds do we need at a minimum for this half. You can see there are some frustrations now on one of the more consistent players for Renegades. 3 rounds on the board. Do you aim for 6? Do you aim for 7 maybe? Let's see. Ariel has got a place to be. He's got his buster kit in hand, and it seems the rest of the team do as well. Once again, that giant hole in that short position, or is it? Azza, he gets a team kill assist, so there will be 2 falling for ENCE, but a bomb will be planted quickly.
Yeah, those 2 kills really make all the difference. Ali will take down Jacob outside, but right now it's more about that lower bomb side. Alexi B threatening the flank, and with all of that, that means X7's actually alone on the bomb side. He's alone, and that means Alexi B has to play his card, and he'll go forwards, and Greta's Faction will take him down, and now Alu has to save the day. 1 versus 3. That bomb is freshly planted here. Renegades start to apply the pressure as they go for the bomb defuse, but Alu's going to have to spray. Nade in his hand, smoked off, has to go through the flashbang, doing what he can, but it is not enough, and Renegades with the steal.
It's unfortunate for Alu trying to make a play through the site. He had the angle for the bomb plant. Could have estimated it, but with the CT so close, it might have insta-punished him through the smoke. Who knows? No perfect play in that situation. Renegades managed to survive. Again, we raise a question as to what the minimum number of CT rounds is for them in this half. That was a beautiful adjustment from Greta's Faction. Spins his mouse in the flick, the correction at the end. Marvelous stuff. They've got 4 rounds on the board. Can they make it to 6? Short-term goals. Make it to 6 and then set another goal after that. Both teams will be on the buy. That bomb plant is really crucial for ENCE. You can see the limitations in their grenades. They've got the rifles out for the most part. Well, for all the part. Everybody's on the rifles, no SMGs or funny business like that. Renegades have a different approach to dealing with that squeaky position, going down the vents, just having Azza there waiting to delete people. He's pretty good at that.
How much can Greta's Faction do here? Jakin will slow them down. That Greta's Faction more time on the peak. Oh, Alexi B, great return there onto Grat. So it will be a 1-for-1 after all. But you can see the information was gained there. They saw a lot on the radar. Ali will pick off Jakin though. That's a problem now for Renegades because Alexi B is going to feel more confident now, pushing outside as well as the lower position as well towards Secret. Both positions have been compromised. It feels like the map is being constricted around Renegades and their defense at this point. JKS still has the ramp, but you can see that he's going to try to make a play here. They've got to do something to get information, to try to take initiative, because ENCE are in a very strong position, and they're trying to wait out a play like this, but do they have the right guess?
Sergey may have heard Azza jumping into the vent earlier on. Not 100% sure. There's going to be a high variance situation now in the lobby, but Sergey's the one to look first. Alu still waiting, misses his shot. but that's one of the 2 players remaining. They know where he is, so they can use the numbers, abuse the numbers towards this A bomb site. Now they know Azza's the last man standing towards Secret. His options have been taken away. Such a joy to watch Azza in this match so far. The multi-frags in that first map were awesome. The whole team of Renegades have been firing on all cylinders since they started winning matches in the last stage. But Ents are about to move to 8 unless Azza's got some funky business.
Yeah, and the problem for Renegades too is that the kind of pattern of the rounds in which they have won means that their loss bonus is not going to be quite as good as you'd like. So we'll see what they'll be bringing into the next round, but I don't know that it will really be all that much. Ents are now so strong; they're looking for the double digits for sure at this point, as they're trying to survive. And so are trying to hunt him down, and there it is. Alexi B will take down Azza. All the weapons removed from Renegades, and indeed, it's $2,000 to $3,000 for the Renegades players, so they need to go for a save, buy a few PT50s, a flashbang, something like that, and Ents will be likely picking up that 9th one pretty soon.
Renegades' loss bonus is not amazing, and indeed, they are broke as pokers. There will not be much to bring into this round. The CZ for Azza, the P250 for JKS, and that might be about it. No grenades, no nothing. So we'll see how they choose to abuse something. I mean, all they have really to abuse is their numbers to trade. Someone's got to take a bullet for the president if they choose to make an aggression somewhere. But of course, that will be looked for, and Ents have time. So hard to decide when to make a play, but it looks like Renegades could burst from garage and main at the same time around this outside position. But it's all guesswork. The smoke grenades will isolate the options. X7's got to be careful. That smoke will help. But when you stand up there, your shadow is shown at the bottom of main. That's one taken down. Of course, the smoke looks good at vision. Oh, that's an AK in a very difficult place to protect now. Again, that's one use for HE grenades. Oh my god, he's thrown his gun away, and he could have been facing 2 with the Julies. That will certainly help. Alu doing it in style. But there's still a gun on the floor. As they're jumping towards that vent position, there's some spray, but oh dear. Is there a trade? There is a trade. Lexi B will take care of the rest. Okay, everything's fine. That could have been really awkward, but it wasn't. 9 rounds for Ents.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a lot better. But in comes the buy once more for Renegades, and I'm wondering if, I don't know that they will be able to get the AWP onto Gratisfaction, so they may have a different style of play moving into this round. We'll have to see how heavily they'll contest the outside. It would be quite cool to see an aggressive setup, 2 to 3 players from Renegades early in the round. We'll find out very shortly. Only with the 1 kit on JKS, you can see some of the limitations, some of the shortcomings of the Renegades economy. And indeed, they'll be pushing 2 players outside quite aggressively with these M4s. And there is Gratisfaction back there as well, who can, of course, offer support from further away. Ariel is investigating. You do need to deal with any CTs if they are close in these positions. Going through the smoke, very unfavorable, and Azza will punish and pick up the AK for his trouble.
High-risk situation there for Ariel. What if you're wrong? If you're wrong, you're dead. Alexi B trying to make his way through the A bomb site, but he sees absolutely nothing. Azza charging through the smoke now. So many CTs, but the trades are going back and forth. 1v3 for Sergey, only for half a second. Renegades prevail. They survived with 3 players moving into the last round of the first half. Really important for them. They need that extra cash. That was a fast one, but a brief one at the same time. 5 rounds on the board. Still a chance for those 6 rounds for Renegades, and maybe that will be enough.
Yeah, I think, you know, if they can show a T side, obviously they won't have quite the T side they had on Mirage in terms of preparedness and comfort, but definitely, you know, 6 rounds is enough to work with on that CT side. But we'll see if they can get that 6th one. Here we go. Final rounds of the first half. They won't have an AWP, the Renegades, but they've also changed their approach pretty dramatically. No aggression outside. You can see Ents were looking for it, but it won't be there. Instead, a more passive and slower approach from Renegades. Looking to get the information is Gratisfaction as he moves towards Secret. And also try to slow them down. J-Chem can play off of Gratisfaction. And there goes the flashbang. That is lethal. J-Chem with the AK finds a fast headshot and falls straight back. No punish possible. That's a good way to take an advantage.
That is a very strong statement from J-Chem. Some late momentum for Renegades in the first half, excuse me. Smoke towards main, but J-Chem will not respect it. Again, he will have a small shadow advantage. You can see one here. Alexi B taken out for free. He would have one on the high ground as well. but he'll fade away with that. It's going to be really hard for Ents to do anything, I think, in this round. X7 just running in for Sergey to trade, but there's no trade. Very awkward angle. Liaz makes it as hard as possible, and Aerial requires a base now with 44 seconds on the clock, but Jacob says no. 6 rounds for Renegades at half-time, a nice comeback late on in the first half.
Yeah, a recovery, and I think you're right, James. You know, there is work to be done here for Renegades. They're going to be feeling a lot better about this new performance than their last one, so we'll have to see if they can do anything about this match, and maybe Chad's prophecy can come true, and they'll get that 2-0, but we will find out after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Can Renegades make a comeback in this second half? Of course, on this map, on Nuke, you expect to see more dominant CT sides, more rounds on the CT sides, but this is the major playoffs. Anything can happen, and Renegades have already showed us that they have definitely woken up on the right side of the bed today, because they are hitting some shots. And now they move on to the T side, and let's not forget that T side they had on map 1. Again, sure, it will be more difficult for them on Nuke, but there is definitely a lot of work to be done here, and we'll be starting off with a molly and smoke on Azza. JKS will dump all the nades towards the squeaky door, towards that vent, as is so common. And then we'll try to investigate with a cursory jab or two from Alu.
Now, this could be a trap. Having blown off the door, you have to be worried if you're a CT player. And here is the fake being offered into the A bomb site. Will it pull rotation? X7 will spot a lot of players coming towards the ramp. He backs off. He's got some information. Time to rotate for Ents, but can he be sure of anything at this point? No frags just yet. Loads of Renegade players moving towards control. The bomb's going to be dropping. X7 trying to fall back to reload. Jacob with 2. X7 trying to do more. 3 from Jacob. Looking for an ace. We've got Sergey coming in from the back and Alu hiding on the site. Renegades holding position now by the double doors, waiting for a response from Ents.
They're really making him sweat it out. A minute. That is a long time. Lots of time to play with. Lots of time in which Ents might make a mistake. As Renegades have, as you say, just completely cut noise, being static. And the longer they do this, the more space Ents have to move around. But there goes the smoke, making it safe. Alu not wanting to throw any shots across. The bomb's going to go down. And now Renegades have defensive positions. It's going to take something special here for Ents to find the headshots they need, because they're going to have to attack into these dug-in positions, or maybe not. Jacob's going out. He's going to find himself the 4th kill. Sergey takes down JKS. And, well, there it is. The shutdown. Liaz secures it. But what a performance in this round from Jacob with the quad kill.
At half-time, I was saying to Dan that I'm kind of worried if I'm an Ents fan right now. Renegades with 6 rounds on the board. I don't know, man. They're looking like a better team at the moment, despite the issues they've had historically on Nuke. They got 6 rounds on the board on their CT side. They've looked more confident, more decisive, and we've just seen better fragging from Renegades overall in this series, and that might be enough for them to find themselves a 2-0. They win the pistol. So now we're in a really interesting situation. The match is paused. Looks like a tech pause at present. There's no buying from Ents just yet, but again, this is scary.
Yeah, it's extremely scary. because indeed, as you say, Renegades have put ENCE in the position that ENCE put them in, which is you have this CD side where you want to have the AWP, you want to have all the utility in the world. And now Renegades could just take over the money game, and that makes it a situation where you have to take more risks on the CT side to get that momentum back in your favor. So yeah, no one wants to play from that position, and also Renegades are a team where, as you just mentioned about the individual ability, they can play the basics on these T sides really well in terms of playing the trade game. And if they focus around a more simplistic game plan like that, given the level that we have seen from every single player on Renegades individually, it makes me confident that that could even be enough. And as you say, James, maybe like what if there's a breakdown in ENCE? What if there's some tilting that happens? It's hard to say. We'll find out all those answers out very shortly. But here is, of course, the opening rounds on the first half of this series. You get to see that dominance initially from ENCE, and JKS shows up.
All right, tech pause has been sorted out, and we will soon be back into the game. It is not going to be the sexiest round. It looks like it's an eco for ENCE, and the match has been paused again, so never mind. Maybe it'll be a slightly longer delay. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm terrified for my pick'ems. Okay, the unpause is coming in again, so we're only a few seconds away. Might be a good day for ENCE fans. It might not be. Renegades seem to be in the driving seat despite being 2 rounds behind. Of course, they did win the pistol. That's quite nice.
That's beautiful.
That's a very nice touch.
That is beautiful. I love it.
Artistic direction. Thumbs up from me. And into the game we go. So indeed, it will be an eco round from ENCE. They're not really spending much of anything, if anything. They will just be targets, moving targets like it's a training map. That's how it should go. But this is going to be good just to watch Renegades and see how they deal with an anti-eco situation. Of course, we always bring it into question. It has vastly improved in this tournament, and we can see that they already have a player down in that secret position. They're keeping the CTs honest in the upper area, just making sure nothing untoward is going on. As we can move towards control, have a look through the windows, and Renegades can try and figure out where ENCE may be playing.
Yeah, and it should be pretty easy to adjust here for Renegades. Even if they do get into a spot of bother, they should be able to trade things out. They're playing against just absolutely nothing, so should be easy to control the situation. There's already enough information gained here by Renegades, and you can see them start to communicate that, and as it's going to get his team, rally his team towards this ramp position, and you can see everything's clear. So they've got a clear line to that bomb site now. I do wonder, how this will go, because if we think back to Mirage, ENCE opted to do a similar approach in which they didn't go for a force buy, and they get the buy-in on the following round, as you would. The thing though is that there is always shortcomings with that buy, because you can't have the AWP. You'll be limited on the utility if you want to opt for the firepower. Oh, hello. So maybe a chance. Yeah, there it is. All right. So we will get the UMP stolen away.
I didn't see or hear the glass get broken on this window pane, so I'm not sure who smashed it. I'll assume it was Hazza, but he got a lot of information in this round, and now ENCE will try to swarm. So they'll do what they can to try to make it somewhat expensive. Those are 2 frags they find themselves with now, and Ariel's the last man standing. Got himself an AK-47 though. Distraction being run from one rifle, and another one to collect the final frag. And here we go, 8 to 9, 3 players surviving for Renegades, all good in the hood, and it's time to buy for ENCE.
Yeah, we'll see where the shortcomings are. And as I mentioned, because if you're on the T side and you understand specifically how much money your opponent has and maybe that they can't get full utility, sometimes it's just a clue that they're going to play a bit more aggressive, because they will have more disadvantages playing those slower rounds, those late rounds with less utility, so they'll want to get a kill early. So we'll see what ENCE do, if they try to go for a play like that, or if they just try to play very passive here on this CT side. Ariel will take a forward position behind the smoke. He doesn't really have too much support though, so you can see he backs away, just trying to get that early information.
Alu moving around the vents just in case. They're keeping a keen eye on that. You can see Renegades are lined up to deploy some grenades outside. Alu may do some spotting. Now at this point, there's 1:20 on the clock. Ents have one flashbang. So if they want to make a play around Secret or something like that, or anywhere else, they've got one flash with which to do it. LXCB looks to be deploying it somewhere. Out the flash goes. There we go. But they're not in position to do anything with it. The smokes are up. They've been isolated from their positions, and LXCB has been taken out. JKS has been traded by Sergey, but you can see the nervousness from Ariel. He has no idea what's going on. He looks like he's in a really nervous situation.
Yeah, the trade is very likely here. Ariel's got a lot of work to do with this M4 to try to do what he can, but he can't find anything, looking the wrong direction. X7 will get a trade from Hell, but there's much more work to be done. Down to half health and exactly where he is. Gratisfaction takes the challenge. Dancing around the crate with the Krieg is a play that will work out, as now it's just 2 remaining for Ents. As Aaron tries to capitalize on the push into Hell, but they just cannot win these 1v1s, James. And now it's up to Sergey. He's picked up an AK, which I believe he's stole from JKS, but it's going to be difficult to be going down the vents. They don't. Oh, this Liaz is waiting, and that will be a wrap. Great round from Renegades, and once again, we have this situation, and just couldn't find a way to take the initiative with their utility. It felt like that flash outside had to be more.
That was terrifying to watch from Ents' point of view. Again, they had almost no utility, fair enough. The flash comes out, but the smoke grenades were in the right place for Renegade, so Ents weren't able to do whatever it was they wanted to do. But then while the smokes were up, they just seemed to be in bad spots, but not really choosing to move back, just being in such a deep committed position and looking in 2 almost opposite directions like that is just terrifying to watch, basically. So they just got picked apart. Renegades putting the scab off the wound and now rubbing some vinegar in there as well. Sergey with Kevlar and a Desert Eagle will be having a look-see, having a look around. Ents are at maximum loss bonus. So again, he's just trying to keep that T economy honest as they look to start off on the right foot in the next round. Nasty. That's a nice frag. It will draw attention. Got some grenades to limit his options. Gratisfaction doesn't want to go too far. No need to give a 1 versus 1. Okay, unless you're supremely confident and you just don't give a damn, in which case, more power to you. Double figures now for Renegades.
Absolutely. And this round will be very different because Ents won't feel, I think, the pressure that we had on that previous buy round where they were low on utility to try to get some action happening early on and then just being denied. We're going to see the AWP will see the full amount of utility behind this buy for Ents. So they're in a position going into this round where they should be very confident and they can play that slow roll approach. Renegades, on the other hand, they're going to realize that too. They understand that they need to, if they have a really good round, James, I think we need to see it here, and Renegades can then assert the momentum off that.
I do wonder if Ents spent too much money in that eco round, because when you look at the full buy here, they don't have all the grenades in the world. Alu had to be dropped in AWP because he didn't have enough cash to buy one himself, although X7 is still holding it for the time being. But you can see that there's a few players who are missing some grenades, so I do wonder if they just invested a little too much in that previous round. So maybe X7's playing a spawn. We shall see. He's going towards the ramp with the AWP, and in the meantime, Renegades take position in the lobby. No AWP for them. Gratisfaction does have a scope, however. He's got the Krieg instead. Azza looking to cause some problems outside, while Renegades look to focus on the ramp.
Yeah, X7 has that most forward spawn. Oh, there goes the flash. That is beautiful. X7 barely had any time to react to that one. And just like that, $200, boom. You got yourself wrap control, you got yourself the lower bomb site control, and X7 is all he can do to communicate to his teammates. But Renegades are already on top of the site. What a fast-moving round. X7, that's a fantastic shot straight to the face of Gratisfaction. And he will be able to hold on to some of those more forward positions that Renegades really need. That one comes out of the door, and Jacob can't defend it.
That is rude from Ents. They've got a man advantage. They so need this round, and they need all these players to survive. Azza has time. If Ents are nervous, they might make a mistake. There are 3 players alive. 2 of them are heavily tagged. You can see LXCB, I think he's got an elevated position, which will make things more difficult, but still, Azza, that was a bad peek for him, but he still got the kill somehow. 19 HP. 2 more players to find. You see X7 repositioning. Again, Ents, I don't think they've won a round in this half so far, and this has to be a nervous situation. He could be moving into a crossfire. He's got to be careful. Try and check all the angles. There's a distraction being run, and Ali will deliver the kill. But that extra frag from Azza may go a long way in the future rounds. The score is tied, but it really does feel like all advantages for Renegades at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree. That extra kill could really be huge, and honestly, you know, it's so scary that individually Renegades are overpowering ends in most of the time. As you say, that peak is actually a terrible peak. Like, not only is like a left eye peak versus the right eye peak, you know, you're against an elevated position. So kind of nutty that he picked that one up. But Az has really showed up to this major.
I did wonder if Renegades would cool off after the break from the previous stage, because they were all running super hot like lava. But here they are, as they're still doing damage towards the end there, and the score is tied. But they do look so much more dangerous. And just the expressions on their faces, yes, not the most expressive necessarily on a good day, but after winning the pistol in the first half, we saw frustrations, at least in the communication, it seems, on the cameras. So I do wonder where their heads are at, hence. But they're still in with a chance. 10-10 at the moment. Lexi B on the Mag 7. They've got a better situation in terms of grenades. This might be a fast one into the A-bomb site with a grenade from Azza being lined up. He's got no idea. There's a player behind him. No idea whatsoever. JKS wipes out the A site. This is a disaster for ENCE very, very quickly indeed.
Oh my god, they don't have any money. They actually just have to save. They just have to straight save. In the first 20 seconds of the round, a save is called. That is brutal. What a timing coming in. And indeed, as you mentioned, you know, the Mag 7 not understanding that JKS was so far forward. JKS with those entries, so violent, just swinging through with 2 instant picks. And that's really created problems here for ENCE. Their money, this could be another situation, James, where they're just battling to just have money for the entire half, as we saw on the first map. And we know how that went for them. Ariel, you can see, might be the next player to have contact, trying to hold on to the AK-47. So critical that he holds on to this. And Renegades don't have great money either, so you can see that they are being slightly more conservative, not really committing to the hunts. There it is, 11-10.
Just like that. Blink of an eye and the round is over. If the T side can keep a CT side living paycheck to paycheck, then there's so much you can do. And it forces the CTs into conservative decisions, into being afraid, into being nervous. Renegades have not allowed in this entire series ENCE to have a feeling of comfort, of confidence at all on either half in any round. One round won by ENCE in this half so far. This is the CT side of Nuke.
Yeah,
we were talking about the shortcomings for Renegades, but look at ENCE.
Absolutely, they are in trouble for sure. Ali though has the AWP looking for that fast play through the door, and it will not happen. Renegades are playing a slower round. They're focusing towards that outside control, and they're also looking for any plays, any forward pushes that could be made for by ENCE. Obviously, there's so many different aggressive setups you can have on the CT side. So many things that you have to worry about if you're a T side to clear. And really, it's just going to be Alu. And how much can he do here? He's got, actually, no, he's got Ariel from main as well, who can offer something, although the smokes will come in to deny information. Ariel is committing himself here. The flashbang comes out, Renegades checking it. That's beautiful work from them. Very cognizant of these forward plays, and now ENCE are in trouble.
No support flashes that I could see for Ariel when he went down there. Ali was smoked off, but I didn't see any utility, just some pot shots to try and run distraction. And there are problems for ENCE again. Just shy of a minute on the clock for Renegades to capitalize on their advantages to pull ENCE out of position. They've got to worry about B. They need to worry about the Heaven position being flanked as well. Renegades still have their options available to them, and how on earth could you possibly try to go down this vent as an ENCE player unless the players towards the ramp are successful? The MP9, maybe they did it. There will be frags elsewhere. Sergey being taken out. There's a quick peek, and Lian's going to die while the bomb's getting planted. Spray for satisfaction. 2 versus 2, doing the best he can, looking for that second player to come through, and it's Alexi by the double doors.
That is so huge that that information just came in the doors there. So Gratisfaction knows where the last 2 players are. He needs JKS to activate to get him out of trouble. JKS needs to push faster. Gratisfaction will be pushed down in the corner, trying to survive for as long as he can, but they don't know where JKS is. Maybe, just maybe, enough time is for holding the defuse. There goes JKS! Picks it up, and that is so bad for ENCE. I cannot express it enough. What a save from JKS, swinging in at the perfect moment. Gratisfaction buying time so that he could actually go and do that to make that play to save the round. And Renegades, James, they move to 12. They're 4 away from 2-0ing ENCE here and making their way to the semi-finals.
This is absolutely crazy. I don't know if there was some confusion in the comms or something, or ENCE were convinced that the player was coming from Decon. Double doors were open for business, and it was 3 kills towards the end of that round for Renegades. And ENCE are in a forced buy situation. They've got almost no utility. They've not had any success really on the outside aerial. They may be good for 2. He won't be. Fast moving around now. Alu looking for T's, moving into the A side and moving along the outside, being really careful. You can see the nerves here for Ents. They've got a man advantage for the time being, trying to keep control of that squeaky door position. It's been blown off, and that might come into play later.
And once again, there's no nades now ready for Ents at this point. Oh, the miss there is huge. What a huge miss from Alu there. That is a problem. I don't know what you're going to do about that because now the bomb site's gone. That was the shot that's supposed to connect. Deny entry. And now AlexiB swings in, gets punished by JKS, gets caught out of position. And JKS doesn't stop, gets himself a triple in this round. And Renegades, they shouldn't have been able to make that work so clean, James.
Ents, I don't know if they're having a giant adrenaline dump or what, but honestly, like the score doesn't tell the story. Look at the half. Look at the half. It is 7 rounds to 1 for Ents on the CT side of Nuke. They're not having success outside. They're not having success inside. They're being out-aimed. They're being out-fragged. They are being dominated and exploited by the likes of Renegades, who are 3 rounds away from a 2-0.
Oh, you can see how bad that feels. The frustration there for Alu. For me, you know, I really had this series as pretty much everybody else did. I felt like it was just going to be won on the map pool. I felt like Renegades wouldn't match up against Ents' map pool, and that was going to be a wrap, and that a 2-1 would maybe be the best case. But Renegades here have shown their focus and have shown their preparation, their composure. They had a rough couple months leading up to the major. You could see that, you know, they went down 0-2, James. They managed to fight their way back. They ran it all the way back, and over the course of the tournament, they started to, you know, get rid of that ring rust, started to, you know, really feel out their gameplay, and look at them now, peaking at the correct moment, but it's not done just yet. Although that said, Ents are in a very weak position now. They're on a save. They do have a few dangerous weapons, but ultimately they don't really have that much.
Ents are in so much trouble. They've been in trouble since the beginning of the series, and it has not improved. It has not got better, it's only got worse. Renegades in full control. These rounds haven't been much of an issue. There was a scare maybe once in this series so far, and they deal with it for the most part. Gratisfaction to 180, okay. And there it is. Doesn't matter at this point how many frags you get. It's 14-10.
Yep. And this is that spot to the experience starts to be really important. You're about to get it over the line. Everything looks like it's stacked in your favor. Everybody's hitting their shots. You know, the other team looks like they're broken. They're whiffing. The pressure's getting to them. You are in the position where you can just clinch the match. And that's the spot where you have to make sure you don't defeat yourself. But I do think that Renegades, all these players, they have a lot of experience now. They should be good to go, keeping themselves focused until the job has been done.
With the consistent performance we have seen of late from Renegades, you do wonder how far they can go. Big round for Ents. It has to be now. It has to be now. They can't fail anymore. They can't be dominated anymore by the likes of Renegades, who are looking for some kind of aggression. There are more grenades now for Ents. You can see those grenades around main. They've been such a problem for Ents to deal with, but this time they won't be in awkward positions on the outside. They won't be isolated, trying to look in 2 directions at once. Renegades lining up around that squeaky position in the meantime, with angles towards the roof. AlexiB's going to get taken out. They pull plays out of position. The flashbangs are still good. Sergey, can he find 2? He's got to find 2. He does. He keeps it. He keeps him in with a chance. X7's got to be careful. He can't fight to the death. He can't make it 1 versus 3 for Aerial.
Oh, the ball down as well. Aerial will pick up a frag. X7 swings in at the perfect moment, but now it's down to Azza. He has a lead on the health. He's only got a couple of flashbangs, but he has plenty of time. Aerial nails it. Azza's done. And then stay alive for another round in this one, but their money is not perfect, James, and Renegades have very deep pockets, so they're going to be loving it.
That could be a blessing in disguise for Renegades. It's going to be harder for Ents to defend with less than they had in the previous round, but it seems we do have a crowd here after all. They've been quiet for a while. 3 rounds behind are Ents. It's not too late to turn things around, but this time they're fighting with pots and pans. MP9s, French guns are out. There are 3 defuse kits on the 5 players. Could be a fast one from Renegades, who've got smoke grenades to isolate Aerial from his position. AlexiB with the MP9 can't even get a crosshair in the right place. Sergey's in a horrible position again. Can he find 2? He can't. Look at all the frags. Alu is 1 versus 4 with 1:35. And he is going to be hunted. Surely Renegades are on the cusp of something great.
Alu He'll do what he can. Needs to keep this AWP really if he can, and getting a forward kill will be a good way to do it, but there it is, a better peak for Gratisfaction, and 15-11, match point for Renegades, looking at securing a spot in the semi-finals here at the Berlin Major. I think pretty much everybody, except Chad of course, had them pegged to be defeated against ENCE. Even though Alexi B is on the way out, it didn't seem to really impact the team and their performance in the stages of the Major leading into this, but now we see the weakness, but also I think more importantly we see the hard work, the grit, the determination, we see the strength from Renegades, and it is something to witness. I'm really enjoying thoroughly the Counter-Strike that they're showing us.
Tack timeout from Renegades, keeping the focus. The game is not won yet. You're still playing a very dangerous opponent, a very high-ranked opponent, and they're only 4 rounds behind. They've got nothing to fight with, but nothing can be taken for granted. This half has been 9-2 for Renegades. ENCE have gone missing almost all the time. They've been reset every time they've won a round, and there are almost no more rounds to win for them. Only 4 players with SMGs, X7 with a Deagle. You can't have a round prepared for something like this if you're ENCE. Surely, this is it for Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, these are the ones, right, that are very dangerous because the pacing of them can be very quick and very difficult to prepare yourself for. So, Renegades trying to... they had the pause. They know exactly what's coming in this round. They know that ENCE are on the ropes economically. They know that ENCE are going to be buying everything, that there's going to be SMGs, there'll be forward setups, there'll be all kinds of tricks. ENCE have to pull every single trick out of the bag to stay alive. And Aerial will be perhaps the first hurdle for Renegades as they start to progress in the outside positions. Lots of presence shown here from Renegades. No smokes just yet though. We'll see them thrown across just now. Always trying to mix up the timings of that. There goes the push. Aerial will catch one, pushing out with those smokes from main. There's a chance here for ENCE. In comes Jacob for the punish. Wow, okay, that fair enough. The UMP, the vertical shot works out for Aerial.
40 seconds for Renegades. Alexi B's in a really tough spot to deal with. Liaz's got a free fire, a different angle, but he walked through at the wrong time. It's a 5 versus 2. Maybe there was no need to push forward, but how could you expect someone to be there? 30 seconds, and it could be a question of damage at this point for Renegades, because if they take players out, if they stop them from collecting rifles, should they lose the round, then that might be enough for the rounds to come. Oh, Sergey, he's being careful. He's shown presence, but maybe it's best to fall back now with the MP9. 14 seconds remain. They've got to find some players to practice these. Alu showing some presence, and there's Sergey from the back, and ENCE make it to 12.
All right, so there's a couple of things going on there, of course. One, again, Renegades perhaps not going to have the cleanest drills when it comes to handling rounds like that. And it seemed like they didn't quite know what to do, especially after losing a fight against Aerial there, when he picked a really good timing to swing out as those smokes came in from Renegades. And then they just slowed down, and the SMGs are so fast moving. However, it feels like they're up against rifles again now, James. They've been successful the whole half against rifles. They should be fine.
Where are the ENCE fans at? You better make some noise for your team if you want them to win. That said, it's not too late to defect to Renegades. I'm sure Chad will forgive you. 1 minute 40. JKS is creeping. Will he be seen in the corner of the smoke? Alexi B's looking for it. He doesn't see him. That's a huge headshot for JKS. Closer to the smoke normally means a disadvantage, but Alexi couldn't see him. He couldn't see him, and it's a big 5 versus 4 for Renegades. That's the advantage they may have been fishing for in a previous round, and maybe it'll be enough this time. Again, it's not too late to defect. Turn your jersey inside out, maybe. But ENCE are still in this. They are still the ones with the map control, despite them being 4 versus 5.
Then you have a handful of flashbangs now, and the push comes in towards that low position. X7, he's going to make this huge, but it's absolutely nothing. It's all Renegades there. Alu is all that stands. 4 versus 1. 3 angry Aussies and an angry Norwegian there, ready to take this series against ENCE to push themselves into that semi-finals. All that stands in their way is Alu coming up into the heaven position, looking to get his first peek. He will be denied. Renegades through to the semis.
Massive performance from Renegades. They did not allow anything there for ENCE. Complete asphyxiation. That is a very big statement to the rest.
Ends bro, nice renegades. Well then, renegades अच्छी खेली भाई, एक नंबर अच्छी खेली. And hope so भाई वो in future भी ऐसी खेले and they are qualified for the semi-final. और हो गया भाई आज के लिए इतना ही. मिलेंगे फिर कल मे बी ये टाइम पे. ओके किसने मैसेज किया कोई. ओके हाँ मुझे इसको ये करना है. अब हम जा रहे हैं. मिलेंगे कल नेक्स्ट टाइम या अगली सुबह. प्लीज़ गाइस इसको रिपोर्ट करो यार. मतलब आए तो भाई ब्लॉक द कम्युनिकेशन. यो ब्लॉक ऑल द कम्युनिकेशंस और लॉग आउट. यस लॉग आउट. और हम खेलेंगे तब सॉरी हम खेलेंगे नेक्स्ट टाइम. तब तक के लिए ओके ओके हम खेलेंगे कल खेलेंगे एंड तब तक के लिए गुड बाय.